Hello everyone, here with Dani and Kev again for another World Champ Zwift podcast special. How are you enjoying Harrogate, guys?
I'm absolutely loving it. It's incredible atmosphere out there on the roads. There's so many supporters, rain or shine. So many events going on. You've got the fan zone, and obviously the racing has been amazing.
Fantastic, Dani. As you said, lots of energy there, and there's so much happening out there on the roads. And let's get into today's podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty tired actually. It's been full gas all week. But what's been going on? So yesterday, under 23 men's obviously ended in a bit of controversy. You know, I'm sure you've seen on Twitter and the like.
Yeah.
Poor Dutchie.
Jeez, where do you start with that one?
I know. Yeah, obviously a lot of mixed views out there, and it's a really hard one to call because there was footage of him holding onto the bottle or the car for a number of seconds, but it was very, very early in the race. My personal opinion is that it was wrong, but that he should have been disqualified at least within an hour of that happening. Don't let him get to the finish line and put his arms in the air.
But at what point do you say it's too late in the race? Rules are rules, and they put the rules in place, and this is the outcome.
Yeah, and I've got another view on that. It's kind of that's the culture of the sport. You know, a little sticky bottle here, it's accepted. It's like unwritten code of conduct. I think it's a bit of slipstream in behind the team cars. And I saw 3 videos. One video was him holding on, what looked like to be holding on for like 3 seconds. Then 2 separate videos of him taking draft behind cars, but they were all separate cars, different cars. So it wasn't as if his team were giving him all the support. I thought he was hard done by.
Yeah, it's obviously a really, really hard one, and I guess it all depends as well why he's chasing back on. Has he got dropped? And, physically he's not been able to stay with the leaders, and then he's getting a sticky bottle, which is obviously, worst case scenario, and that shouldn't happen. Has he crashed? Has he had a mechanical? And I guess maybe these sort of things should be taken into some sort of consideration, but it is a tough one.
He was mechanical, I think. He was he didn't get dropped.
He crashed.
Yeah.
But I think either way, this guy's got a future in the sport, so it's obviously very hard at the moment to accept, but we're going to see him in 2, 3, 4 years' time anyway.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's got a pro contact, doesn't he?
Yeah.
With Sunweb.
Sunweb.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, horrible for now, but I'm sure he'll get home, put it all into perspective. He's obviously gone very, very well on the bike.
Yeah.
He's proven that on the world stage. The big teams have seen it. He's got a contract, and this is hopefully just the start of him for his career.
Yeah, it's a crazy sport, isn't it?
Obviously, the Italian rider who got second is now world champion. I wonder how he's going to feel.
I know it's almost a shame for him that then he didn't get that glory of putting his arms in the air as well. So it's not just, the winner or the Dutch rider that's, I guess hard done by here. It's the other riders as well.
But he's actually been quite vocal on Instagram, on Twitter, saying, I'm the winner, I deserved it. The other guy was disqualified for a reason. I'm the champion. He's quite out there, announcing it.
Fair play, and end of the day, he's got the jersey, he's got the medal, and he'd be in the record books.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
the one.
And then the other end of the scale, you've got Tom Pidcock, British rider, who crossed the line 4th, and he got a medal, and he didn't look that happy on the podium.
No, I think if I try and put myself in their shoes, I wouldn't have been as happy, kind of, I guess, making that step up after the Dutch guy was disqualified. I think, it's nice to kind of win in your own right. It's always such a shame when things like that happen after the race and not in that moment. There is something special that's been taken away from.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so last night, as always, the Zwift House has been packed. I think it was at capacity last night. Even we couldn't get through the door. We got told to wait downstairs.
We had to leave.
It was actually my first time. I've been really, really busy at this World Championships. It was my first time experiencing the Zwift racing in the Zwift Draft House. There's been lots of racing going on, but last night we had the junior men, and it was incredible. I didn't know what to expect. I'd seen e-racing, Zwift racing, but not in that capacity where it was such a party, electric atmosphere, which is the word that I feel like everyone's using at the moment.
It is entertainment, isn't it?
It really is. It was just, it was great to be a part of. I personally loved it.
And we had the world champion, Quinn Simmons, one of 5 riders competing on Zwift, and competing is the right word because this wasn't a show. They were absolutely flat out. That was good to see.
Yeah. Look, when you see the world champion go from the road to then go and race on Zwift the next night, it really gives it legitimacy, credibility, and like you said, those guys, I don't think they knew what they were lining up for, though. It was like six young guys lining up next to each other on the ergos, I thought they were going to be a bit of a procession, but then once the race started, they were into it and they were full gas.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see the power as well. That's what I love about the Zwift racing. You can see exactly what power they're producing throughout the races. So they started off, they were, holding 600 watts, and I was thinking, they're going to have to slow down in a minute. But it hardly did, It was relentless racing I think they were racing for around 15 kilometres ish. And yeah, it was amazing. It was interesting, actually. Quinn Simmons, I think, was actually last out of the boys, but he openly said I think he'd had about five guys burgers since winning his race world championship. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you can't underestimate his talent anyway. I'm sure he's going to go far in the sport. But yeah, a little nod to the Kiwi rider Finn Fisher, who won. I'm sure he's been on the phone to Greg getting some tips somewhere along the line. So yeah, we got a quick chat in with the British rider and our world champion. So yeah, let's get straight into those chats. And these were just out the back door of the Zwift House, helping them get some fresh air. So it might be a bit of background noise, but yeah, here's our chat with the lads. Right, here with Max, who's just given his all for the Zwift race at the Zwift House after the Worlds. Quick comment on the Zwift race. How was it?
It was a lot of fun, actually. It was painful, but it was fun, so I enjoyed it.
Good stuff. And how was your race yesterday at the Worlds itself?
It went well. It was my first race for GB, and I basically got told to cover all the early moves and be aggressive so the other teams had to chase. So I tried to get in every break I could and put the pressure on the other teams, and just ran out of gas halfway into the first circuit.
Good stuff. Yeah. And being from the Isle of Man, obviously big shoes to fill. A lot of famous cyclists and established. Do you speak to those guys? Get any advice and input?
Yeah, they come on a lot of the group rides, so you can talk to them while they're there, get advice off them, and then train with them, which is really nice.
Amazing. And are you first or second year junior?
Second year junior, so going into the big class next year. Yeah.
Lovely. What's the plans next year? Who are you going to race for?
I can't say yet.
Good. That must be good then.
Yeah, but it's a good team, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Magic. Right. Thanks for chatting to us, Max, and good luck next year.
Thanks. Cheers.
So here with Quinn, fresh in his rainbow jersey on Zwift. Yeah, hot and sweaty. How was the Zwift race?
Oh, that hurt. That might have hurt more than yesterday.
Good stuff. And just touching on yesterday, newly crowned world champion, special day.
Yeah, it's amazing. We brought a really good team, and we knew what we could do, and it's cool to make it all come together.
And who's your coach back in America? Who looks after you?
Jim Miller.
And do you think the success of Chloe really kind of built on the team and it made you more motivated to win? Do you think the success has bred the success of the team?
Yeah, I think the U.S. is just getting stronger every year, and I mean we already have 3 world titles, and I think that a couple more medals. So I think we're showing that it's coming up as a nation and just going to get stronger each year.
Amazing. Plans for next year? Big targets for you?
Just making the step to the World Tour, so it's trying to learn from the best guys and gain some classics experience.
I got one question. For our listeners, how would you describe the atmosphere in there?
That was crazy, yeah. It was full on club combined with some bike racing. I don't know. I think the people on the other side of the stage were having more fun, but yeah, it was a cool experience.
Lovely. No, I think that's about it, Quinn. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I think what shines through there is enthusiasm from those boys. They're happy to be there.
Yeah, they came off those ergos buzzing, didn't they?
They were really buzzing, yeah. They were absolutely, sweating. All of them said how hard it was and how much harder it was than they expected. And actually, there were a lot of keen Zwifters themselves. So they had used Zwift before, but I don't think they'd raced, and especially not in front of a home-packed crowd where obviously the adrenaline's running and they're going absolutely flat out.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the big event on Sunday, the men's road race, we caught up with Ben Swift, who is Britain's hope. So yeah, let's jump into the chat with Ben. Here is take on the Worlds. Here with Ben Swift. This is a first. He's on the massage table, half naked.
Got to stay relaxed.
Exactly right. So a day out from the Worlds tomorrow. I guess most people are talking about what's the course and all those boring questions. But I want to ask you what kind of the week's been looked like. So what your preparation in the last couple of days, what does it typically look like for a massive one-day event?
Yeah, I think off of experience now, It's always about a build-up, really. You look at this and you work backwards from it. So if we work backwards from it like that today, so what I've started doing the last couple of years actually is, in the past I used to do 1 hour, an hour and a half, a couple of little efforts.
Yeah.
But I've actually started doing a bit longer, because when you look at like stage races, we're so used to such a heavy workload that it's quite nice to have good open legs. So today I did just over 3 hours with like only one 16-minute sort of ramp. Didn't do no sprints or anything, but just open the legs a bit. The rest of the ride, not really pressing on too much, just riding, getting a nice bit of fresh air and just taking it all in. And it seemed to have worked pretty well before in the 1 days. So yeah. And then Friday I had a complete day off. I was either going to do 40 minutes on a turbo or a complete day off, and just spent the day in bed, really. Just really took the time to freshen up. You know, it's a good opportunity that day, 2 days out, to not do anything, to really just take the load off and freshen up, knowing that you're going to do a bit of a longer ride pre-race day. And then what was that? Thursday was the last sort of day that you put some length in, really. We all got together. We had a good look at the opening section, the opening 180k. So I think we did 4 hours as a group. Not really, pressing on a little bit, but just a normal general ride for us, and no efforts, nothing like that, but just pressing on. Then the day before that, I had an easy day. Just went on the turbo. Actually went on Zwift, had a look at the Harrogate course, just rode it. I know it before, but I think doing the turbo, it's just a good opportunity to have a bit of a sweat when you're not really having to press on. Yeah. Just take the most to have freshen up, really. This week is all about freshen up. You're not going to change your fitness or anything like that. Before that, Tuesday was my last real hard day on the bike. You're not really, like I said, you're not going to change your fitness or anything, but it's more about keeping your body switched on and doing almost day on, day off. So that was kind of, quite a tough day, actually. The weather was horrible. It was bouncing with rain, and
it's going to be like that on Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, so it was actually good prep.
Good prep.
And
I mean, does anything change? Because tomorrow's going to be soaking. Is anything going to change? I mean, in terms of like prep, I guess what you wear, obviously, but anything else change compared to a dry day?
No, not necessarily. I think you've got to really be mindful about keep eating.
Yeah, sure.
When it's so wet and you're so sort of like, you're in the group and the rain's splashing up at your face and you're just trying to concentrate, you've got so many layers on it, it's actually quite hard to eat. So you need to make a bit of a conscious effort to keep eating. Because especially when you've got gloves on, you've got rain jackets, you've got other sort of items of clothing on. Yeah. It's the last thing that you're kind of thinking about, really. So other than that, for me, nothing changes,
nothing
really.
Major,
it's just, maybe a little less tire pressure, that's about it. Yeah.
And being around the world, obviously, it's exhausting, right? You know, I've been here a week and it's tiring just being around. How do you switch off?
I think what we've got here, we've got a nice accommodation. We're slightly away from it all. Yeah. We're on the course. You've got it to the left and to the right of us, but we're away from it, and the hotel's quite good that it's not too busy. There's just us and the Australians here.
The arch enemies.
Yeah, arch enemies. Don't chat to him that much. No. You have to walk past him at dinner and give him an elbow.
Oh, yeah. Try to trip him up or something.
Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, to be honest, it's just about... I actually enjoy watching the other races. So when you get back in the bike, just switch it on. Yeah, yeah. It also gives you a good insight to what's going to be happening in the race and stuff like that. But switching off, it's just...
Netflix,
bit of everything, bit of music, just...
chat.
I think just doing your normal routine. Yeah, I think
living, right?
Just because it's a big event, that's when you start making mistakes. If you're putting too much pressure on, you start changing what your normal routine is. You know, if you go for a walk in an evening, go for a walk, you know, or something like that. Yeah. Just get a bit of fresh air. Just do what you normally do. Yeah.
And your role, am I right in that you're the leader for GB?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a strong word, leader. I think in our team, we've got 6 riders. You need to have some structure and some dynamic to the team. And with my history in long, hard one days on this park course, my current form from the year, I think, yeah, you put a label on it that you're the leader, but it's not all about me. We've got a strong team. All right, we've only got 6 riders. We've not got a full quota, but the 6 riders that we've got, each and every of them could take an opportunity. You know, that's where we're gonna work really well together. We've got me as a leader, sort of speak, but then you've definitely got another 2 riders of equal opportunity, but we're all kind of different riders that play different roles, so we can cover a lot of bases and take those opportunities. So take Adam Yates, for instance. He knows he can't wait for a sprint. He needs to go early.
Sure, yeah.
He needs to cover them breaks. And it's not to say that he's not going to go in a break at 80k to go because he needs to go. You know, he can, the break he's going in, he's going to go in it to try and win the race.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
exactly.
So we've got options. We've got we've got a good, well-balanced team, I think.
And do you think not being perhaps one of the, we're not saying not a nation with the biggest squad, slip under the radar slightly, maybe?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, all right, everybody wants to win the Worlds.
Sure,
it's the world title. There's only going to be one person that can. And if you look across the board, it's easy to pick out 6 riders that are definitely going to be, if they're not there, you'd be questioning why they're not there. And I think with us, we're perhaps not in that group, but we're always there, always wanting to race, and hopefully we can fly under that radar a little bit. And we know that we're just going to go out there, give it our best shot, and hopefully our best shot lands as a good result.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about some of the domestiques in the team, what do you look for in a good domestique? What's kind of like the attributes of the perfect teammate?
Oh, I think
it's like
looking at our team, you know, sort of like we've got super domestiques in this team. We're not, you know, like Owain Doyle and Ian Stannard, they're going to be having to do the brunt of the work, really. And I don't think you could ask for anyone better, really. You know, if you've got Stannard looking after you, you know, it gives you a lot of shelter.
Yes.
He makes a lot of space. And I think having a good domestique is someone that just knows what's happening all the time, and that you can trust them 100%. That, especially on such a long, hard day, it's all about mental aspect of it as well. And if you can switch off a little bit and almost have a pilot in front of you that you know is going to, say tomorrow, you know it's going to be wet and windy. If you've got somebody helping you that you can completely rely on, that knows that they're good in the wind,
exactly,
who's going to put you in that right place. You know, it's like, I think what you look at when you see Luke doing that role in the Tour, you know, it's like the guys, they don't even have to do anything. You know that you've got a guy that's going to put you exactly where you need to be, and then
follow the wheel in front.
Follow the wheel. It's sounds
easy, but
sounds easy, but yeah.
And because I guess compared to some nations, you know, I guess GB and Ineos are lucky or special in a way where a lot of the GB riders ride for Ineos. So you know, you are teammates all through the year, so you get to know each other. You're genuinely mates. Versus, perhaps I don't know, pick the Dutch, where you've got riders come from a lot of different teams. That's got to be an advantage as well, and not only just kind of an advantage on race day, but also in the prep. Just nice to be around, nice environment.
No, definitely, it definitely helps, and you know, especially this group, we race most of our races together. We know each other. We've all grown up together as well. But I think what is quite special on Great Britain, we're still actually quite a small nation. If you look, we've only got, I don't know, 18 World Tour riders, if that. So compared to the Dutch, the French, the Italians, who have got, you know, like a couple of tens and stuff like that, you know, it's like we all know each other. So it actually creates such a well-knit group.
Yeah.
And even when you're on a race, you'll make time for each other, chat to each other. So I think that lends itself to a really strong, tight-knit unit. And I think that's something that GB has always shown really good at, that we can always come together for that goal, even if we're on different trade teams, because I generally think it's because we're such a small, powerful nation. We're actually, all right, we've got 18 guys or whatever, but
they're actually good.
All good, and all can perform, and all can do well, and all know how to ride together.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the race on Sunday is long. I guess it's second longest race you'll do this year, behind San Remo.
Yeah,
Certainly
pretty
long,
much.
isn't it?
Certainly long. It's it's actually not far off San Remo if you include the neutral. It's
Yeah.
200. Well, it's 10k neutral, 280 whatever kilometers plus the neutral. It's may as well do another lap, make it feel good that way. But
There must be some special prep for that. And if you're going into the Worlds trying to win it at that kind of distance, there's some long rides
yeah,
in training.
no, definitely. I think what you've got to look at is across the board, most races they're up around the 5 hour mark, but getting past that mark is kind of a special thing. I think if you look at Milan San Remo, what are the big factors in it? It's the distance. The park course isn't that hard. It's not actually. If you look at speaking
Sprinters
of
tend to
numbers,
win it.
sprinters tend to win it. Even though it's kind of strange, you always get a small group there. It's actually not that demanding, especially if the weather and the wind is favourable. Then it's actually one of the easiest hard races that you do all year, if that makes sense. But there's a certain point when you hit the cappies, what is it, after 240Ks or something like I can't remember off the top of my head. It's just, people just explode.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a weird
Yeah.
atmosphere because you're not actually done that much until you get to that point.
Yeah.
And then it's just about the group getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the distance and the length of time, it's a big factor that people take into account. But it's maybe that's one of the reasons why we see always small groups in San Remo, because the sheer length of it. So with that in mind, as professional cyclists, we have a lot of endurance and we have a lot of time on the bike generally anyway. But I think it is been really important to actually do. We can't obviously replicate race distance because when you're training and stuff like that, it's kind of hard, but you can certainly do 7.5 hours on the bike. So I've done that a couple of times. After the Nationals, I took a break. Then it's been right. Each sort of like block, like when I say block, my first block was a training block. Then it was like a racing block, then a training block. So not like each block of training. I wanted to do a really long ride. So when I was in Font-Romeu on a training camp, I did 7.5 hours in the mountains, just basically get the body ready for that distance. And then it was like, right, as you're working along down the line, a bit of progress, do it in a race atmosphere.
Yeah.
So after Hamburg, which was already 220 kilometers, we're racing that. I went out and did another 70 Ks after the race.
Oh. Motor paced or just on?
Well, I wanted to do it motor paced, but I must have had that much caffeine in the race that I just kind of went. I waited for my coach to kind of catch me, and they weren't catching me, so I was like, right, see how far I can get without catching me. And then he caught me after 50k. I did get behind the car, but it was in a massive SUV, so I was like,
brilliant.
I'm doing like 80 watt, there's no point. Then you kind of like, right, you got to do it on your own now.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But then that was good. That was race distance. And then it was just about stage races and stuff like that. But you definitely need to get your body ready for 7 hours.
Exactly. Obviously, the condition you're in now, listening to kind of you the last week, to most people, that's kind of quite a big training week. 3-hour ride the day before a race, that's like, well, you're going to be knackered, surely. Just goes to show the level of fitness you guys have got. Just to finish up, touch upon on Zwift. I know I'm not sure what level you are, but I know you're on there quite a bit. I've seen you on there a few times. How does Zwift fit into your training, your riding?
No, it's a massive tool. It's a massive asset. I think for me, a lot of people know that I've had some pretty big injuries in the past.
Yep.
And I'd have loved this tool, this program when I was coming back from injuries, when I was having to do 8-10 weeks on the turbo. But this year, I want to say, luckily in one way.
Touch wood, touch the skating board. When
I had my big crash in February, and the only thing I was allowed to do was walk for the first bit. And I was like, you know what, this is stupid. I feel like I'm getting worse. I'm going to get like shin splints here or something like that. I'm so unnatural at walking. I'm nailing myself. And I was like talking to the doctors, talking to the surgeon, come on, just let me get on the turbo. It's so much more natural for me. Eventually, as long as I kept my heart rate down, they said, okay, you can. And it became a massive tool for me there. And it just added such a massive dynamic. I was like doing 5-hour rides on there, 6-hour rides, and just trying to get after the badges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what are the shields and the badges and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And
All the achievements. You get jerseys as well.
jerseys.
Yeah.
Got my 100-mile jersey and
Nice.
stuff like that. So
All the achievements. That's it.
yeah, that's it. And I just think it just adds such a special way to your training. Like nobody likes home training and stuff like that. It's hard, but so with a tool like this, it's a massive asset.
Makes it easier. Yeah, sure. Oh, it looks like you're about to be flip bound onto your front for the second half of the massage, mate. So I'll leave you to it. But good luck for Sunday, and thanks for chatting.
Thanks, mate. Nice one.
I mean, no surprise there. Ben's obviously super motivated for Sunday. Being a Yorkshire lad based in Sheffield, born and bred in Sheffield, he's obviously up for Sunday. Obviously, personally, I do hope he gets a result he wants.
How much extra motivation do you get from having a home championships, do you think?
Home Olympics, Dan? What do you reckon?
Massively, and especially for Ben coming from Yorkshire, it really, really is his home. It's not just his home country's race, but his hometown, or essentially. So, yeah, you feel it so much. You know, you're supported throughout the race. It's such a long race for them. It's almost a San Remo length race with neutral. It's nearly 300 kilometres. So you need that support, and you really do feel it. So for Ben, you know, that's going to help him every step of the way. I don't think he's a favourite for the race, but actually someone that really could win it if he takes his opportunity and they ride well as a team. The weather's definitely going to be on his side. It's going to be horrendous, relentless rain, I think, from start to finish. But I think that's what Ben's hoping for. So, yeah, I'm really behind him. He's such a great guy. He's had a lot of setbacks throughout his career. So I'd love him to get the rainbow jersey.
Yeah, and just think about the forecast, the weather. It's going to be, and whoever wins the men's road race is going to be deserving. They're going to be a hard man. I think we could see a very, very small number of finishes.
Yeah, possibly under 50 riders, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the finishing circuit as well. Obviously, they're going to be lapping around there pretty quickly. So it would have been split to bits before. So I'm sure it will be a very reduced bunch.
Yeah, there we go. Well, there's a bit of a wrap up on where we're at. We're sat here on Saturday. This is Saturday's podcast. Good to chat, guys. And let's go out and watch the end of the women's race.
All right, let's do it again tomorrow.
Something that's going to be a super exciting race. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.